Welcome back to AUTOTUNE Media. For this episode, we have the most popular car in the Philippines, the Toyota Vios. For so many years now, this car has proven itself as a reliable workhorse, either for business or for personal use. For that reason, there's no doubt that the Vios is still part of most conversations when choosing a car that will surely last for years. I'll be upfront, this isn't the techiest, most handsome car in its segment and in its price point. There are more options out there. But let's be honest, owners of Toyota Vios are well aware of that, so there must be a deeper reason why people still choose the Vios. And we will figure that out in this review. Quick thanks to Ryan Autodeal for allowing me to take this car for a spin. And if you guys are looking to buy a high-quality used car, Ryan Autodeal is the place to be. This Toyota Vios is available at their dealership. And if you want to get a good price, simply use our code AUTOTUNE MEDIA so they'll know that you watched the video. I'll leave their details in the description below. Let's get started. The Toyota Vios has a plain exterior. Add to that the fact that it's very common on our roads, and you'll understand why it's no longer attracting eyeballs wherever you go. Because people got used to it. But isn't that a good thing? Especially if you don't like grabbing the attention of other people, you'll want a car that mixes well with the crowd. And this one does that. We're now looking at the exterior of this 2024 Toyota Vios with a 1.3-liter gasoline engine and with this nice blue mica color. And you know, the Toyota Vios is a very common car here in the Philippines, and because of that, it's no longer as attention-grabbing. You know, I think the Toyota Vios isn't also designed to be an attention-grabbing car, and instead it's a car designed to have a very simple appeal, to have a very tamed look, to mix properly with other cars on the road. And if you're looking for a car with those characteristics, then the Toyota Vios is actually the car for you. Except for this tiny plastic trim here, the Toyota Vios front bumper or front grille is all blacked out. And when you move closer, you'll see that it has halogen bulbs, and underneath that, you also have your small fog light in there. Moving to the side of the Toyota Vios, you'll see that it's also very plain. And the Toyota Vios that we have today already has some rain visors installed, so you can open your windows when it's raining to defog the car if it so happens. The only thing that, you know, kind of elevates the side profile are these nice looking wheels. And by the way, this Toyota Vios comes with 15-inch wheels, and wrapping those wheels are 185/60 R15 highway terrain tires. Only the front wheels of the Toyota Vios come with disc brakes, and the rear wheels of the Toyota Vios come with drum brakes. Moving to the rear, the Toyota Vios carries over its simplistic look from the front all the way to its rear. So its taillights come with all halogen bulbs. Well, it has some sensors for when you're reversing, and it also has some reflectors and lights over there. I'd say that the interior of this Vios is very close to being lackluster. Good thing Toyota remembered to put some metallic garnishes inside just to break the all-plastic interior. But when you get past that lack of color in the interior, you'll start appreciating the simplicity of the car. It's very straightforward to use, literally foolproof, unlike other cars with so much tech inside. When you open the doors of this Toyota Vios, you'll be greeted by this all-black or mostly all-black interior, and most of its interior is plastic. And this is one of the compromises put into the Vios in order to reach a certain price point so as to make it approachable or reachable to its target customers. The seats of the Toyota Vios are fabric, and right now they have these fabric seat covers, so we cannot really see how these seats look like. But after driving this Toyota Vios, I could say that these seats has proper cushioning. It's very comfortable. Later on, we will review how it rides. And for your reference, I am 5'9", and this is my sitting position. And this is my sitting position at the rear seats. So as you can see, I can still sit comfortably, but there is no longer much space available for me. It has ample space for passengers inside. Even though it has maximized the space available for your passengers, you still have a huge trunk space in here, and you can actually fit quite a lot of luggages in here for a weekend getaway for your family. And we're now sitting at the driver's seat of the Toyota Vios, and from this view you'll see that it's very plain. The steering wheel, or the looks of the steering wheel, the texture of it matches the texture of the dashboard, and the dashboard of the Toyota Vios is all plastic, and the only soft material that you can touch is the steering wheel. It has a nice feel to it, feels very sticky, so very grippy. And if you look closer to the steering wheel, you have some few buttons in here. So to the left, you have mainly your volume buttons, which you can use to adjust the volume of your infotainment system. Looking closer to the driver dashboard, all of this is analog. So to the extreme left, you have your tachometer. At the center, you have your speedometer. And to the right, you have your fuel gauge. At the bottom part of the speedometer, you have a small LCD panel to indicate your odometer. There is a huge aircon vent in here, wrapped with this nice faux aluminum material. Sadly, this one doesn't have a cup holder over here, because in the previous Toyota models that we tested, all of them had cup holders, but this one doesn't have any. So the cup holders that you'll find in the Toyota Vios are only located here, and you have a small bottle holder over here. Moving to its infotainment system, you'll see that you have a small infotainment system here. You can connect your phone here via Bluetooth. You can also adjust your volume either from here or from here. There's no knob here, by the way. And below that infotainment system, you have your aircon vents. And below your aircon vents, you have your analog adjustments for your aircon. So you have your vent position here, the fan speed, and the thermostat. And one thing that breaks the all black characteristics of the dashboard of the Toyota Vios are these faux metallic panels, similar to those faux metallic panels that you can find on the dashboard. And if you look closer, there is a chrome garnish here. And below this infotainment system, you have your automatic transmission. So as you can see, this Toyota Vios comes with a gated automatic transmission, so you don't have to press any button in here to shift gears, and instead you can just push the transmission lever like so. And to put it in drive mode, simply move it like so. To put it in sports mode, simply tilt it to the left, and now you're in sports mode. And at the rear of the automatic transmission lever, you have your manual handbrake. Beside this manual handbrake, you have an outlet here for your charger. And you also have a very narrow storage space here, perhaps for your wallet or for your phone or for some documents. And now let's take this Toyota Vios for a spin to see how it drives. The 1.3-liter naturally aspirated engine won't push you to your seat when you floor the throttle. To some, it is uneventful, even boring to drive. But the way I see it, it is properly tuned to provide a smooth driving experience. It has enough torque, but it is delivered in increments, providing a linear power delivery. This engine will teach you a lesson about patience, which is very much needed on our roads today. And we're now inside this 2024 Toyota Vios XLE with a 1.3-liter gasoline engine and a CVT transmission. And first, let's talk about its engine. So this car comes with a 1.3-liter naturally aspirated engine. One of the characteristics of this engine is that it is very tame. And by tame, I don't mean underpowered, especially when you're driving in flat roads. like where we are right now in Angeles City, Pampanga. What I mean tame is that, well, coupled with its CVT transmission, power delivery is very smooth. And I think one of the reasons why the power delivery of this car is very smooth is because the car doesn't have too much torque and too much horsepower to begin with. And because of that, the power delivery feels a bit cushioned. It feels a bit tempered whenever you press the throttle pedal, even when you try pressing it aggressively. I would say that if you're looking for an exhilarating drive, at least in my opinion, no matter how deep you press the throttle pedal of this Toyota Vios, you can get it from this car because, well, primarily having a small engine like the one that it has, basing on that, you can easily infer that it isn't designed to be driven aggressively. Well, of course, you can, but I think that's not the main point of this car. And the main point of cars like this is that number one is practicality. Number two is for it to be easy to drive. And when you base your opinion of the Toyota Vios on those criteria, you can say that this car is actually properly designed. Small as it may be, the 1.3 liter engine in this car doesn't feel underpowered in my opinion because it delivers power to my liking, and as I mentioned, it feels cushioned a bit. It can get to higher speeds, but you have to be patient when accelerating, especially with this small engine, because it will really take time for the Toyota Vios to reach at least 100 kilometers per hour. And since it's a naturally aspirated engine, there is no sudden surge in power when you press the gas pedal, even if you're within the rev range of the engine. Everything just feels so linear in the power delivery. And since we're in the topic of power delivery, let's talk about the throttle response of the Toyota Vios. And I think the throttle response of the Toyota Vios is also one of the reasons why the power delivery in this car is very smooth. Because what I've noticed in the past Toyota cars that I've driven, and I also own a Toyota car, is that they have a really nice throttle response, very easy to manipulate, very easy to know where the throttle is positioned, and whenever you press the throttle pedal, you get rewarded with an amount of power that you expect. I would say that throttle response is responsive enough for you to not be guessing as to where within the rev range you are. And because of that, I find Toyota cars very easy to drive, at least in the past units that I've tried before. This transmission is so smooth. At this price point and in this segment, a little lack of refinement can still be acceptable. But the Vios has none of that. This CVT properly complements the tame engine. Every shift is well cushioned, but don't mistake that with laziness because this CVT is highly responsive. And now let's talk about the transmission of this Toyota Vios. So this car comes with a 6-speed CVT or continuously variable transmission. And I'm actually impressed with the transmission of this car. It is very responsive. I like how it's programmed to be shifting at the right time when you expect the transmission to shift. And well, going back to its linear and cushioned power delivery, the CVT also shares with that entirety of the experience. Yeah, and this car also comes with a manual mode, so you have to tilt the transmission lever to the left and you'll get access to the manual mode of the CVT transmission. And normally in cars like this, I wouldn't expect them to have instantaneous shifting. But in this Toyota Vios, I'm actually also impressed as to how quick the transmission responds to your input. To shift up, you have to push the transmission lever upwards, and to downshift, you have to push it downwards. And when you push the automatic transmission lever in either position when you're in manual mode, the transmission is very quick to respond. And that's one thing that really impressed me in the Toyota Vios. Granted that this is an economical car, it would be reasonable to expect that there could be some compromises. And sometimes in cars, they compromise the driving experience, right? But in this Toyota Vios, they chose properly as to where to put those compromises. And I'm glad that Toyota didn't compromise on the engine and on the transmission, on the throttle pedal. And because of that, practical as it may seem, when you buy a Toyota Vios, you won't feel shortchanged if you're looking for the driving experience, because the driving experience in the Toyota Vios is, ample for what it is for a practical car. And as you saw in our interior review a while ago, the compromises were put on the interior trims of this car. In my opinion, I'm fine with that for as long as the driving feel of the car isn't compromised. And I can say that the driving feel of the Toyota Vios isn't compromised at all. While driving this car, I noticed some body rolls, even in low speed. At first, I was frustrated, but after some time, it all made sense to me. Because the Vios wasn't intended for carving corners. Instead, it's mainly focused on comfort, and I really felt the comfort inside the car. Also, noise dampening is so good inside the Vios, therefore adding another element of comfort in this economical car. And lastly, let's talk about the handling, the suspension, and the braking of the Toyota Vios. And first, let's talk about its braking. I would say that the braking of the Toyota Vios is good enough for this car. In similar Toyota fashion, the biting point of its brake pedal sits way up high. So when you touch the throttle pedal, a little pressure on it and you'll feel the brakes biting on the car. And because of that, you'll have an easier time modulating the brakes. And I don't know if it's just me, but I really prefer brakes or brake feels that have a higher biting point, because I find them easier, or you don't have to really exert a lot of pressure on the brake pedal to feel the car really stopping. And that's what I felt in the Toyota Vios, and I could say that I like the braking characteristics of this car. The handling of the Toyota Vios, I will describe it as not sharp but not vague too. For a sedan like this, it's kind of unusual that you feel body roll in the car when you're just going in lower speeds like this. You feel the car, or you feel the body of the car rolling whenever you turn the steering wheel, even if you just turn it so slightly. There are actually two ways to view this one, right? Because when the car has that body roll, it means that the suspension of the car most of the time have longer travel. And in this Toyota Vios, I could say that by the feel of it, they prioritized comfort over having a very sharp handling, because after all, we revert back to what I said a while ago. This car was designed to be practical. There's nothing practical with an uncomfortable sedan, especially when you're using it in a daily basis, right? You would want something that is, approachable. You want something that is comfortable to drive. This Toyota Vios is actually comfortable to drive. I like the suspension, the handling, the body rolls. A bit okay for me. I would prefer a car with a sharper handling, and it would actually be fine with me if there are compromises in terms of riding comfort. But, as I mentioned, the Toyota Vios isn't designed for carving corners, and instead it's designed to be practical, comfortable in daily drive. And for what it is, the characteristics of its suspension, I could say that it has definitely achieved that. It isn't plush. The undulations on the road can still be felt from inside the car, but they feel dampened, and you feel the suspension of the car really working, really exerting effort to make the drive comfortable. And when you're pressing the brake, there is a very slight dip forward, and that's actually fine by me, because at the end of the day, with a car like this, I would appreciate a comfortable ride, and the Toyota Vios has that. And what I noticed about the interior of the Toyota Vios, and I think the suspension can also be attributed to that, is that the outside noise when you're driving the Toyota Vios is actually properly muted. Even if we're on a busy road right now, it's still a bit quiet. And normally in an economical car, noise dampening isn't too high, but in the Toyota Vios, I like how it suppresses the noise from the outside. And because of that, the comfort inside is further elevated because for one, you have a cushy ride, and number two, you have a quieter ride. And if you're asking yourself if you should buy a Toyota Vios with a 1.3-liter gasoline engine, I would say that if your purpose is to drive it within the city on a daily basis and with a bit of comfort in your drive, then by all means, the Toyota Vios is actually a good choice for you, especially when you're looking for a car that is easier to maintain and, has a proven track record of reliability, because for so many years now, the Toyota Vios has proven itself to be a reliable car. And if that's what you're looking for, the Toyota Vios is a good choice. And with that in mind, if you have more cash to spare, or if you have a little bit more budget, I think you should go to the 1.5-liter Toyota Vios because you'll feel more excitement from your drive, you'll have more power on tap. And if I were in the market for a Toyota Vios, I think I would go to the Vios with a 1.5-liter gasoline engine because personally, I want to feel the power in the car whenever I press the throttle pedal. And for that reason alone, I would prefer a 1.5-liter. But if you're someone who's, just looking for a car, you don't care about how much power it has, and instead you just want a car with a good driving feel, with a good amount of comfort in it, then by all means, the Toyota Vios 1.3-liter is already a good choice. Purchasing a car, for most people, all boils down to cost effectiveness. Seeing something as cost effective is highly relative. To some, cost effective means having a nice mix of tech, power, and good looks. And if you're this type of person, then I'd know for sure that this Vios won't appeal to you. On the other hand, to other people, cost effectiveness means having a car that they can rely on with absolute certainty in the years, perhaps decades to come. And if you're this type of person, I'd know that you've been eyeing the Vios. This has been Enzo from AUTOTUNE. Till next time.